Hi guys, welcome back. In this video we're working on the Volkswagen Corrado. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the timing belt and we're going to change the camshaft seal up here in the top of the engine. So this job, or this procedure, it's the exact same for either 16 valve. So if you have the 2 litre, which I have, or the 1.8, I think it's the exact same. If you have the G60, it's an 8 valve, slightly different, but it's probably the same as the Mark II Golf or as the Mark I Golf. And obviously if you have the VR6, it's completely different because you have chains rather than timing belt. Okay, so first job, get really good lighting because at least you can see what you're doing. Also jack up the car because it's quite a low car, so that makes it loads easier. We're going to get rid of the air intake and that'll give us access then to the timing belt cover. So the first job is to remove these screws. Okay, after looking at this and trying to figure out how to actually move all of this, because I just cannot get enough angle. Yeah, you could probably pull everything slightly to one side, but there's just not enough room, to be honest. And even for filming, there's definitely not room. So I thought, get rid of this piece here. It's like a piece of plastic trim. There's two 10mm holding it on. This one here is the return line. Down there's the send line. And if I get rid of those two lines, it'll let me lift up the whole unit here and probably move it way out of the way to give me loads of access there. Okay, now we have some room, finally. So, got all of this off to make room to get the timing cover off. Took the pin out of the center, thinking, okay, now just pull it straight up. No, there is one more little Allen key way off down here, and the only way to get it to it is to take off the manifold. I have to take off the air manifold anyway, so I abandoned that job and went straight in for the air manifold, so that's next to come off. Okay, now I've undone all the nuts and bolts across here, air breather, and there is 4 nuts on a bracket down there to undo, and 2 nuts on a bracket down here to undo. And off it comes. Finally. Now finally, with the air manifold removed, we get to the one Allen key that was holding us up. So this one here, and just undo it. Okay. And now we can remove the timing belt cover. Easy. Okay, now fine with the timing belt cover removed. Yeah, that's a lot of oil, wherever that oil came from. Now, the rocker cover gasket was leaking. I have since sealed it. So, it's kind of that, but like, I'm still not sure. So, yeah. If you know where do these engines like to leak from, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Okay, I'm sure there's people shouting at their screens right now. You did way too much, you didn't need to do that. Yeah, I know, but I know I took off the manifold. Maybe you didn't need to do that to do a timing belt, but I'm doing a camshaft seal and the holder for the camshaft is just behind here. So the air manifold and this rocker cover have to come off anyway to get to that camshaft seal. If you're only doing a timing belt, yeah, I think you can leave the whole manifold on. You'll have to go all the way in here and undo a little nut back here that hold on that cover, but it is doable, I believe. So I'm doing the camshaft seal anyway, so in this video that's why I have to take everything off. To remove the bottom timing belt cover, I had to remove a series of different pulleys. So these pulleys, they have to come off anyway because I'm going to paint them, but the ones I took off is basically everything. So it is the power steering pump, the water pump, which is just further up. I also have to undo the belt that drives the alternator, and then on the crank there's 2 pulleys, so that's some of them there. You have to take off all those belts to get to the inside here to remove this screw here and this one up here. Okay, next we're going to line up TDC for the crankshaft. Basically, if you have the top shaft in line, it should also be in line. The way you do it is the crank is here. You can see there is a little line just there at the back that lines up with the arrow, so the two of them should look over each other. I always put a mark at the front because it makes it way easier to actually line everything up. And on the back of it, I have it marked just there. There's a little C, a little half moon. That corresponds to that little dimple just there. So that means that the crank can't go on in any other direction, only in TDC. So you just make sure that you have it actually in the right place. Okay, next we check the camshaft. So there's TDC on the timing mark. There's TDC up here. So they're both in line. We come down here and we check the crankshaft. There's a little line on the crankshaft that I put on, and maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. There's an arrow right behind that. I've marked it in Tipex, and the two of them do line up, so that when you have it straight, it does actually line up. Okay, next job is, before I pull off the time belt, I'm going to take off the cam cover. Then we're going to take off the time belt, take off the cam seal, replace that, and then do the time belt. Okay, 8 10mm bolts later, the rocker cover is now off. Now the number 15 to remove the timing belt, and we still have it in TDC. That's now loose. Now the idler wheel comes off. That's getting replaced. And now the timing belt. Okay, now the 24mm nut was broken loose. I'm just undoing it, and then we take off the cam, get ready to pull that seal. And off it comes. It's Q8 as well. Okay, still can't tell for sure if it's actually leaking or not, but I'm in this far, I'm not going to not replace it now. Oh, no, never mind, it is actually leaking, look. There's the oil leak coming out of it. Okay, just while we're replacing it. Next, gently crack the 213s slowly open. Then we get our adjustable wrench or a monkey wrench, put it over the top and slowly walk left and right. The last thing you want to do is drive a chisel into there or there, because you'll damage the aluminium. So just carefully just walk it till it gets loose and you can lift it straight up. Now get ready to pull the seal. And off like that it comes. So the trough goes at the back, and the flat piece goes towards the wing. Okay, that's the old seal out. Here's the new seal. I just started putting some oil just in the center of it, just so I have a little bit of lubrication. And now we're just about to put it on and push it home. Yeah. Okay, that's it now done. I put a little bit of engine oil just on turning in the seal, and a little bit of oil just here on top of the cam, so at least when we start it, it'll be lubricated. Now with the new seal back on, now we can put the cap on. Okay, great. Now both of them are tightened to 20 Newton meters. On to the next job. So next job is the rocker cover has been replaced, it's back on again, and I think tightened down to about 10 or 15 Newton meters. Next job is the idler wheel for the oil pressure. That was removed. Then we got the steam kettle and steam clean to the side of the engine block. So it's all now lovely and clean. Now time to rebuild. 2-litre 16-valve Corrado. When you're putting on the timing belt and you're tensioning up the idler wheel, I've just realised this. Do you tension it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Because if you turn it clockwise, the pulley's going to be up here. But if you turn it anti-clockwise, the pulley's going to be more square and coming this way. So like, which way are you meant to turn it? I don't know. I just turn it this way just out of habit, but I don't know whether that's right or wrong. Does anyone know? Okay, the mystery has been solved. So I had it anti-clockwise originally. Went to put the timing belt cover on. It wouldn't go on. So now it's clockwise. I've tightened it clockwise. And let's see if it'll go on now. So that's, okay, it's already going. Yeah, it's in. So there's a little nut just down there, one here, and everything is sitting more flush and proper. So that was tightened anti-clockwise originally, because I did watch videos and people said anti-clockwise. When you turn it anti-clockwise, this is just too far down and it just won't let the case go in. But when you turn it clockwise on the 2-litre 16-valve Corrado, it actually goes in perfectly. So there you go. Mystery solved. So maybe it is anti-clockwise on the 1.8s, but on the 2 litres, it's definitely clockwise. Okay, just after tightening up the time belt, so we have this and this still in line. The belt has that much deflection. Is that right? About that much, yeah? They said like 45 degrees. I can just turn it 45 degrees, and after that it's starting to get tight. And then we go down below, and the time marks are still bang on. And there's a nut in that as well, so it actually is in the right place. Next, I rotated the engine over twice using a really long ratchet and an extension with the number 19 and the multi-spline inside, and that was able to link into that nut there. So it rotated the engine over twice. Okay, I've done a lot of work off camera, so I have the air manifold back on, I have the upper and the lower timing belt covers back on. I have the pulleys back on and the belt back on, and the alternator all tightened up. So looking pretty good. Next is to get the air intake back on. Here we have the air filter and the air intake. So just about to put it all back together again, and I noticed there's a hole here. So what's the hole doing? Is it important? When I was taking it off, I did hear something fall. I thought it was a stone or a bolt and something had to hit the ground. I've checked, can't find anything. So the air will come in here, get metered, and then go into the actual engine. So really this should be capped off. I looked at other pictures and there is a cap to fit on top of it. I can't find any cap, so I'm going to make up my own. Okay, so we're going to take the gamble and we're going to try and make our own. So we have this 90mm socket, which is equal to the diameter of that pipe. We're going to cut a piece of plastic, then use the heat gun, and then use this 27mm socket as a press to push it down. Let's see if this works. Okay, moment of truth. Take that off. Look at that. That turned out really well. Ooh, it's hot. Okay, let's take it off. Okay. Yeah, really happy with that. Now let's see if it actually worked on the actual manifold. Here we have our air manifold, the hole here on the top. We have a little piece of plastic, so let's try it out. Will it go on? Will it go in? It's going on. Yes! Yes! Look at that. That worked out really well. I know it looks a bit bad but just with the excess. I will cut that off. But yeah, that looked really well. Look. Brilliant! Job done. Okay, and that's it now, all buttoned up. So if you want to see if it actually starts and runs, check me out in the next video. So thanks very much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. And as always guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.